This Liberty Sports Update is brought to you by Beacon Credit Union.
I thought our guys did a really good job of preparing themselves for a football game last week that they knew was going to be physical. The next man mentality definitely showed up, and our guys really embraced that. And it was, it's pleasant to see that our guys, once they listen to what we've instructed them to do, and believe that they have an opportunity to make a play, the things that they'll go and do. And then the success that they have only, infuses, the belief in the program and what we do. And so it was a great program victory amongst everyone in the, in the program, because for 60 minutes, everyone fought. And it was great to see the fans and everyone involved, in addition to everyone on the sidelines and in the booth. So, great team win. I'm really excited for this weekend with homecoming coming up, and everyone coming back to Williams Stadium and filling the stadium. It's exciting. These guys are a very talented group of players on defense, on offense as well. And so with that being said, we're going to have our hands full for 60 minutes again, because these guys aren't, they're not going to take it easy on us. They've had success in years past. Last year, I want to say they knocked off Nevada. And so these guys know how to win. They have a great group of coaches. Their head football coach himself knows what he's doing. There's no doubt about that, and they're a well-coached football team. So, with that being said, we got to have a great week of preparation, and really just come to work, ready to grind and give everything we got, because on any given Saturday, anything is possible. You never know what's going to show up on the, across the line from you, and you got to give, your best throughout the week in preparation for what's, about to surface on Saturday.
Given that it didn't come so easy on offense, or at least appear that way from this past Saturday, was it good for your team to have to kind of grip one out like that and come up with a game-winning drive late in the game?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, every week you're not gonna score 30, 40, 50 points. They do a good job of recruiting. They have done a good job of recruiting. And so with that being said, when you face a defense that's, stout, and they're very sound, and they're going to force you to run and throw the football into the strength of their defense, you're going to have to find ways to win. And every week the puzzle pieces change. It's not the same puzzle. Heck, even your own puzzle pieces have to change because people go down, the injuries that occur. And then you got to figure out, how do I reconfigure this puzzle in order for it, it to work. And so it was great for us on offense to, have to fight through some difficult series. And then when we needed it most, convert.
About 3 years ago, a post-game press conference after the win against Coastal on Thursday night, Josh Wardrum looked over to B.J. Farrow and said, "This guy's going to break all of PD's records." Mm-hmm. Now that you've had a chance to watch B.J. develop and get a chance to, play, where have you seen him grow the most, and are you pleased with the production he's been able to give, despite being outshadowed by AGG and a couple other guys over the past couple of years?
Certainly, he's been very reliable. What he's done over the course of his career is make plays in crucial situations for us. The things that he does really well is go up for the football. I mean, that is one of his greatest skill sets. In addition to being very technique sound. If there's one thing over the last 2 years that you've seen improve, is his technique. And he's not the fastest guy, but he gets behind people. And I attribute that to his, dedication to being refined in his skills and his techniques on how to get by people, how to maneuver on, second-level defenders. And so, when you look at his body of work, you can see from, year one till today, he has gotten better, progressively better and better. And then in crucial moments, we throw the football to him because, he's the guy that we can count on for sure.
14-play drive, Joe. Number one, how many options were there on that third down conversion to Fidel? And it was how much of that was an improv ending to that play with Buckshot getting time and then Fidel diving for that last ball?
Yeah, those guys were playing, drop 8 coverage. I mean, they were defending the deep ball. It was 3rd and 13 or 14 or something like that. And so when you're in that situation defensively, you're just trying to keep the ball in front of you. The thing about college football and just football in general, we even saw it last night with the Packers, is things that you can't count on is, the spontaneous plays in football. When, You know, when the quarterback breaks the pocket, when he's scrambling around, no longer are you playing a zone or an area. Now you're looking for open defenders. And then that kind of creates cavities in the defense. And Buckshot did a really good job of just navigating the pocket. Our guys up front staying on those guys as long as possible. And then our receivers being downfield, recognizing, hey, the timing and rhythm of this play, it ain't right. Let me look back. He's scrambling. Okay, now let's go to our contingency plan. What happens when the quarterback scrambles? Where do I need to get to? And so our guys are well trained on that aspect of football. And so, you know, sometimes you just kind of hope those things happen on 3rd and long just because you know that there's going to be vacancies and voids in the defense once the quarterback breaks contain.
Subsequent play was a run to Frankie. Then they blow the whistle and they review the previous play. How nerve-wracking was that situation there?
Not so much nerve-wracking. You just got to be able to get in the right, frame of mind to get the next play call because it was going to be 2nd and 4 or 2nd and 5, and it goes back to 1st and 10, and then you're like, okay, well, I got to get back into a downhill play and get us back into, a 2nd and, medium or 2nd and short situation. So it was unfortunate that it happened because the play was already played. They officiated as if it was good. But once they, recalled it, we were all like, well, get to the next one, dial it up. We knew it was a catch, and so we were kind of, dumbfounded as to why they were taking so long to buzz that in and get it in. But, everyone makes mistakes. It's part of the game. You just hope it doesn't have an effect on the game.
Was it kind of fitting in some ways that it's your backup tight end that makes maybe the biggest catch of the ball game in that spot?
Yeah, not so much the backup. Each one of those guys have a role. Like Fidel is a 3rd down tight end for us. He's going to be, he's going to get by people. He's going to run routes to get open, and so backup in some sense, but the starter, on 3rd down situations and passing situations, and so it was awesome for him because this is his 2nd week back. He was out for a little while due to injury, and so. Every opportunity, every play he gets an opportunity to be involved in only increases his confidence for the next, play, the next series, the next game. And so it was awesome to see him, make that play because, he's capable of doing that every single play, every single game.
You take a couple of the non-running back plays out of it. I think the backs averaged close to 4 yards of carry. Was there more of a effort going in with that game plan to try to run the ball with them more? Or was that just kind of how the game played out and that's what was dictated there?
Yeah, it was certainly part of the game plan. I think I alluded to it in the post-game press conferences. We had to figure out a way with the current players that we have available on Saturdays to help us attack the opponent for 60 minutes. And, some non-traditional things that we did on Saturday to keep us in a downhill play call and keep ahead of the chains, and oftentimes we weren't always ahead of the chains. We were, right there or within, proximity of being where we needed to be. And so, we tried to exhaust the clock, being the most sound play we could be in, take shots and risk every once in a while because it was going to be one of those games, it was going to be hit or miss. And just try to run the football. They're not going to let you just throw the ball out there to your guys. That's how their defense was set up. You're not going to throw to your best guys. You're going to have to run the football into the strength of our defense, and that's what they did. And that's what we tried to do was, hey, we're going to, that's what you're going to give us, and we're going to go at as much as we possibly can and just keep putting a dent into it. And 40-something runs later, it caved in at the end of the game because they took on 40-something runs. And, think about that. Hit after hit after hit for 40-something plays does something to you, mentally and physically, and that's what occurred at the latter part of the football game.
Did Caleb get any extra snaps or reps in practice leading up to this first start for him, Coleman?
Oh yeah. Really, the entire season, those guys get about the same amount of reps in practice. We try to split them up as much as we can. And so, he was prepared for that moment, all season, really. It just so happened to be on Saturday. He was going to get, all the reps versus half the reps, or if any.
Play, I'm trying to remember. It was on the 14-play drive there in the fourth quarter. I want to say it was maybe a fade toward the sideline. It seemed like it was kind of a gutsy call.
To BJ? On their
Yeah.
sideline?
On our sideline.
On our sideline.
Yeah, it was before
It was
the
a third
touchdown.
down conversion,
Yeah.
and I think it was a sprint out, and we threw it to
Okay.
BJ on our sideline,
Yeah,
and we
that's
converted it.
what it would have been. I guess that one, and then the touchdown as well. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, those. I guess in the moment, kind of felt like sort of gutsy play calls. I mean, did you kind of feel that way at that time, that this is the time to take a shot right here, or what, just tell me what was going through your mind?
You know, what's funny about that play call is, you know, Buckshot and BJ, they were, you know, they wanted, that was what they wanted. You know, they were calling, you know, for their number, you know. And I'm always going to take in, you know, any input I get from those guys because they're the ones playing the game. I'm just calling it and from where I see it, and I'm trying to find the right matchups. But there's times often in the game where they're like, hey, coach, let's get to this play. We're ready for it. They're set up for it. And that was one of those plays where like, well, you know, these are two of my best guys. I'm always going to trust them. And, you know, sure enough, when we executed, because that's what they do. They know exactly what, you know, they need to do, and they were very, very confident in that play call. And then the touchdown to BJ was just one of those deals where we were running the ball. They decided to commit to the run and say you're not going to just keep jamming it, you know, up the middle, and then they gave us a one-on-one outside that we wanted, that we didn't have all game, and so we took advantage of that, you know, and so that just goes back into what we do on offense is one hand wash the other. If the run game's going, at some point the pass game opens up. Or if the pass game's going, the run game's going to be there, so.
We asked Coach Gill about the late decision to not kick a field goal and just run the ball and be conservative. Do you have anything to say on that and how that call was made?
No, you mean your head ball coach is head ball coach for a reason, and never going to second guess anything he says, because at the end of the day he has to answer for every decision made on the field. And so we decided that, hey, if that's the course of action we're going to go, then let's commit to it, stick to it. And you know, he conveyed that to us, and he was very, very confident in our defense ability that day. And so we were like, let's go with it, coach. Let's go. Let's do it.
You hit on this some. BJ's biggest improvement since he's been here now, is it his ability to go up and grab those 50-50 balls? Is that where you've seen his biggest improvement?
Yeah, certainly. He's always had, you know, great leaps. I mean, that's something he did in high school, basketball-wise, and then, you know, out here from LCA. And so we've only tried to capitalize on that as much as possible. But you can go through almost every season and find a catch that is just like the one that he made on Saturday. I mean, I can recall one against West Virginia on their sideline. He went up with one hand. I can recall one against Kennesaw State on the road down there where we pumped a hitch and go and threw it in the side pocket, and he went up and did a backflip, you know, or a forward flip coming down. And then in that one, I mean, that's just what, you know, one of his greatest skills and assets are, is just to be able to leap and come down with the football.
With Idaho State, the numbers maybe aren't as good for them defensively, but what do you do to keep your players' attention this week as far as the preparation and to not maybe tread lightly with them being a division lower?
No, these guys, I mean, when you watch the tape now, these guys are physical. These guys play good football now. You know, and defensively, they're structured to defend, you know, the type of offense that we play. You know, so this ain't going to be a cakewalk by any means. This is going to be a dogfight. I fully expect those guys to get off that plane ready to go get themselves a victory. And so our guys, we've conveyed it to them already, and we're going to continue to convey it to them all week. These guys are going to come bring their A game, and they know how to win. Let's just get that straight now. And so we're going to do everything we possibly can to make sure they're dialed in, and we're going to keep emphasizing it because we're not going to take these guys lightly, because these guys know how to play football.